the key determinant of the new normal in that situation will be the economic considerations and not the pandemic or the health considerations. Because I think what is certain is the economies globally will go through a very uncertain and or possibly even a recessionary phase going forward, and that will define the new normal versus the pandemic. I think the first question that will define the new normal is there a vaccine or not? If there is a very effective vaccination, and we think that can effectively protect people, not just in the current term, but also in the longer term, I think the change will be very different, and people will alter their behavior. A lot of the old behavior will come back. And the key determinant of the new normal in that situation will be the economic considerations and not the pandemic or the health considerations. Because I think what is certain is the economies globally will go through a very uncertain and or possibly even a recessionary phase going forward, and that will define the new normal versus the pandemic. So, for example, if virus is not a threat, let's say 24 months from now, maybe the de-densification everyone's talking about may not be such a reality, because if there is a slowdown in the economy, people will need densification of offices. So that's my first question. I think the new normal will be defined by how effectively are we able to come up with a vaccine, and how permanent is that vaccination's effectiveness. Second, I think we are all very, very focused on talking about how much will the demand come down by? How will the demand characteristics change? How will buying behavior change? How will the way we live or work or play or shop change? I think and therefore the impact on rents, impacts on power equations, etc. I think what we really should be very, very considerate about also is we may be looking at a much greater shrinkage of supply than we're thinking of shrinkage of demand. If the real estate industry is already going through a really, really difficult patch, if the economic conditions are really extreme for the next 24 to 36 months, there may be a rationalization in the industry of the number of participants and thereby the supply. If supply goes down much more acutely than demand does, we have a very different new normal that we're talking about. And that's the other unknown that I worry about, or I spend some time thinking about. So what is certain in a situation like this? In my opinion, there are two things that are certain. One, behaviors that have been altered in today's environment, driven by fear, may go back to the old normal once the fear is off. People used to say, we will never get on a plane again after September 11th. People just saw those people who saw World Trade Towers fall down, never wanted to be on a plane again. And 18 months later, the aviation industry had the best damn time it used to have, and the highest occupancy and the highest usage there is. So we have seen in the past that behaviors that get altered by fear go back to the old normal once the fear goes away. The second, however, behaviors that find a new normal because they're a lot more convenient. Suppose we talk about work from home. Suppose we talk about e-commerce, and people say, hey, this is interesting. I can be a lot more effective with a lot less friction. I think those behaviors will change and continue to remain changed. So that's the first certainty. I think the second certainty is the real estate norms will change, whether because of economic considerations or because of pandemic, they will change. And developers that are a little bit more proactive, or real estate participants that are a little bit more proactive on flexibility, on design, on operations, will be the ones that will succeed. So for example, the conversation I was having this morning was with a large owner of retail malls, and the discussion was maybe the new normal is rents which have no minimum guarantee. They're all variable. Suddenly the power equation will change. Suddenly the way the contracts will change. Suddenly the tenant selection might change for mall owners. So that is certain as well, that the norms and the playbook for real estate will change. How it will change will really depend on, are we dealing with economic considerations or virus considerations?